Welcome back to the Cozy Club Summoners. I'm Cozy Gamer, and today we're going to look at the infamous Incredibles. Now, I wanted to do a little bit of gameplay testing before I brought this out to you, and let me tell you, this is the first team of its kind, and possibly one of the best teams in the game, and it all has to do with team synergy. Now, more than any other team, you're really going to want to focus on their synergies and how they all help each other. Now, if you stick around, you're going to see a graphic that shows exactly how each ability and hero helps each other out to becoming one of the best teams in the game. Now, let's go ahead and start out with the one, the only Mr. Bob Parr, or Mr. Incredible.
You were this close to losing your...
He's looking like one of the best tanks in the game, and is even competing with Mordu for that top tank spot. Whether he's with an Incredible team or not, he has a great kit, great buffs, and does debuffs on his basic, which makes him an incredible hero all around. Let's go ahead and start looking at some of his abilities. Now let's look at his basic POW. It does some great damage, it can call Jack to assist to do even more damage, and on top of that, it has a 30% chance to inflict offense down on the opponent, which is a great debuff and incredible for his basic ability. Now his first special, Incredible Inspiration, is the best taunt in the game, hands down. It can give him 3 counterattacks. It also is going to let the other Incredibles use their abilities more through giving them magic, and all around just an incredible ability wrapped up into one. With his second special, Showtime, he's going to call 2 other incredible heroes to hit the enemy, so all 3 of them can get critical hits, thus feeding more turn meter to the Incredible team. Now if his first special wasn't good enough, his passive, anytime any Incredible hero goes below 50% health, he's going to taunt. Now I've noticed through gameplay testing that this can help save those other heroes like Dash and Jack, and you're going to keep the charges on Dash, leading to more damage. This is an incredible passive, and you'll see it used a lot during the battle. Although he does have a leader skill, we've talked about healing not being the best thing in this game at this current moment, and so we're going to want to use Elastagirl's leadership most likely. Although this does have some use, I would stick to Elastagirl, because that's really going to be the cog that gets the engine going with this team. Alright, next up is Elastagirl.
Elastigirl!
Now her leadership is really what makes all the Incredibles work so well, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's go ahead and start with her basic. Her basic is just going to do some good single target damage, and she has a 10% chance to attack again. Now her first special, Stretch Goals, helps increase the helpful effects on your team while increasing the harmful effects on the enemy team. As for her second special, she's going to be doing some massive single target damage, as well as working like the genie and placing a harmful effect on your team over to the enemy. So this is big. If you were to get charmed, you can go ahead and put that charm on the enemy team. Now her passive is like the protective mother. When any of her children get hurt, she's going to feed speed turn meter to herself. Now it's only 3%, but that starts adding up very quickly, especially when people are going for Dash and Jack first in these teams. Now her leadership, Use Your Powers, is an incredible leadership and really is what makes the entire cog of the Incredible team run. Now speed is king in this game, and this is going to be feeding a lot of turn meter to your team. And how they do that is every time they score a critical hit, they're going to earn 3% speed turn meter to your team. Not only that, but Incredibles get 14% critical chance improvement to their stats, which is a big jump and really important. We'll get to how this affects the whole team later on in the video. Alright, so now we're going to go to probably the best character in the Incredibles that can also be used outside of this team, and that's Dash.
Launch the rockets! Launch the rockets! Launch the rockets!
Now Dash completely works off a charge system. That's that little lightning bolt that you see above his head. Each time that he does a hit, he's going to get 1 charge, and on critical hits, he's going to get 2 charges. Now he's going to get a 40% increase to his critical chance with just having other Incredible allies. He gets 10% per one. And on top of that, with Elastigirl's leadership, he should be critting a lot, thus feeding a ton of turn meter to your team using Elastagirl's leadership. What makes him so good is that he has the fastest speed in the game at 139, and also his offense is impeccable. Now his basic, quick hits, you're only going to use after you've done the 2 specials, but it's a good way to start getting a lot more charges and prep up again to use that first and second special. His first special, Heads Up, is the bread and butter of this team. Now with his first special, Heads Up, you're going to want to focus a glass cannon because this move hits 5 times. And keep in mind, if you hit a critical hit, for most of those, you're going to get up to 10 charges. Now you're going to want to get those charges up because his next move, the Dash, is going to do some massive damage depending on how many different charges that you have. So on top of this, you're going to lose all of your charges from doing this move, but then for each critical hit, you're going to gain charges back. So it just keeps on going. He keeps himself going. It's incredible. All right, let's move on to everybody's favorite, Jack Jack.
Kid brother's son. Today is his first birthday.
But if anybody can stop.
Now, Jack Jack is one of the harder heroes to get. As of right now, there's not a lot of ways to get him. However, if you do have him, he's a really fun hero to use, but a bit random. So Jack Jack's role into the Incredibles team is that he's the crowd control. Now, starting with his basic, he can inflict continuous damage on the enemy, as well as do a follow-up attack, and that kind of adds up with the incredible allies that he's with. You'll see most of these heroes only get better when they're with the Incredible team, which obviously makes sense. Also, keep in mind, Mr. Incredible will use Jack Jack if he's available for his assist on his basic. Now for his first special, and I feel like I could make a video alone just on this special, but it's Polymorph. So what Polymorph is essentially a bunch of separate abilities in one, and he has a chance to use each of them. Let's look at each one of them, and you'll see on screen here. Now first, with Monster Jack, he's going to turn into that little monster, and he's going to hit some good damage and inflict vulnerability. Now the Fire Jack Jack is like a mini Hades, and he's also going to do a lot of damage and inflict more continuous damage on the enemy. Now Metal Jack Jack is the one you're going to have to use your ability mats for. However, boy is it worth it. As far as I'm concerned, this is the first 2-turn stun that we've seen in the game, as well as he does some big damage. So for his second special, Jack Jack Attack, he's going to hit 3 times, and it's interesting because first he's going to also put continuous damage, that crowd control, onto the enemy, but also any buff that enemy has, he flips it to the opposite debuff, right? So if they have offensive up, it's going to go to offensive down, same with defensive up, and so on. It's an incredible special, and again, it's a part of what makes Jack Jack so good. Jack Jack of all trades, his passive, he's going to do something pretty cool. At the start of each turn, he's going to give himself critical chance up, offense up, or speed up, which are some very strong buffs, and he's going to keep on giving it to himself. Also, if he wasn't good enough at crowd control, for each incredible ally, he's going to give himself 10% more potency. So he's going to be doing a lot of different debuffs on the team and also flipping their buffs. So he's a really fun character to use. However, no one really has him high up, high gear, or high star yet, considering how hard he is to get. So I'm curious to see just how good that Jack Jack gets. Alright, for the last incredible hero and the shyest of them all, we've got Violet. Now supports in this game aren't that good. However, Violet might be the best support that we've seen in this game yet, and that's all because of her shields. Let's go ahead and take a look at how it all works. Now with her basic, she's going to inflict defense down and vulnerable if she's stealth, and it's her only offensive attack, so you won't be using it too much. However, it's pretty good. Now her first special, Force Field, is really what it's all about. She's going to give shield to all of her teammates, and she's also going to give extra shields if those teammates are below 50% health. On top of that, if it wasn't hard enough, she's going to put defense up on all of her allies. Now, defense up is a little bit better more in the mid game than is the end game. However, this is a super strong ability, and it's kind of what makes her the best support in the game. Now, with support characters, they're really there just for the support, right? So with this next special, she's going to be giving stealth to herself and heal herself back up, making her a little bit harder to target. This can be really helpful and kind of have a forced taunt to the other characters while she continues to give them shields. So even though she doesn't get along with her brother, anytime Dash falls below 50% health, he's going to get a shield, and along with all the other incredible heroes. So we're going to have to see just how good all these shields are, but with a lot of shields pumping up a lot, she should be able to mitigate a lot of the damage. Now you're going to want to keep Dash the most protected, but Violet also is going to be really critical to make sure you keep on putting those shields on your incredible heroes. Alright, so we've looked at all the heroes individually, now let's look at them all as a team. Now if you look at this graphic here, I'm going to show you how all their synergies kind of work together. Bob, he's going to be the tank. You're going to have Dash and Jack Jack be the damage on the team. Jack Jack and Elastagirl to also be the crowd control. Lastly, the support, you're going to have Violet continue to put shields and heal the rest of the team. So they all have a part to play, and they're all kind of important, so it's tough for the enemy team to kind of focus on who to kill first. So here are some general tips about the Incredibles as an entire team. Now first of all, you're really going to want to hoard those ability mats, because a lot of these abilities and moves that happen with the Incredibles don't happen unless you upgrade their abilities. I would go ahead and start with the leadership from Elastagirl, and then also focus on Dash's abilities, and then move on to some of the others. You can see from this graphic exactly what abilities I would focus on getting first, and then you want to move all the way until you have them all done. Also, you probably want to know the best way to kill the Incredibles if you're up against them. And really, I would focus dash, don't let him get too many charges, and really focus dash as fast as you can. Then I would focus Jack Jack, but keep in mind, Mr. Incredible is going to keep getting in the way, so you might have to do some damage to him. AoEs are going to be your friend here, as well as some big high target damage. Charm is also a good way to get things kind of slowed down for the Incredibles team. Alright, so there you have it, the complete Incredibles team. Now they're going to be good in all game modes, arena, conquest, live PvP, and they're probably one of the best, if not the best team in the game. Now at the moment, they're definitely pay to play, so we'll have to see how much this event comes back, but you're really going to want to make sure you focus on getting these characters when they do come back around. Now separate, I have experimented with using Bob and Dash separately with some other heroes, like Shan Yu does critical chance, which if you do with the other heroes, it kind of helps speed that turn meter up. However, I'm trying to keep them all together because I think that's best how it'll work, not only in Conquest, but along with live PvP at times. Now keep in mind, I have seen some of the top players only be using Dash, but until everybody gets them up a little bit more and we see some 7-star in-game content, we're not going to really know if they should be all together or separate, but I recommend keeping them together. Alright guys, now subscribe if you want to see more weekly videos like this. Go ahead and hit that like button if you liked the video, and I can't wait to see y'all next time at the Cozy Club.